Picture this. You're walking down a bustling street in Tokyo. You look over and there's a sleek, modern public restroom, completely free, spotlessly clean and heated. You fly to Paris, same thing, fully automated self-cleaning pods on almost every major block. Singapore, Berlin, Seoul, all the same. Finding a clean, accessible public toilet is just a basic part of stepping outside. Now, land in a major city or seaside town in Great Britain. You've been walking for hours, you're desperate to go, and you look around. Nothing. Or worse, you finally find one, only to discover it's boarded up, covered in graffiti, or completely locked behind a paid turnstile demanding exact change.
And here is the part that will absolutely blow your mind. Over the last 2 decades, the UK has quietly wiped out over 50% of its entire public toilet infrastructure. In some boroughs, public restrooms have been completely eradicated, meaning there is literally zero infrastructure left for millions of people. How did one of the richest, most developed economies on Earth become a place where answering a basic human need outdoors is treated like a logistical nightmare? That is exactly what we are answering today. Let's start with something important. Expecting clean, working public toilets isn't a modern luxury. In fact, Great Britain used to lead the entire world in this. During the Victorian era, public toilets were a massive point of civic pride. They weren't just hidden holes in the wall, they were architectural masterpieces built with stunning tiles, marble and brass. They were a statement that a civilized society takes care of its people. Across Europe and Asia today, public facilities are viewed as essential public health infrastructure. The sun is free, the air is free, and using a restroom shouldn't require a commercial transaction. Roughly 80% of major global cities maintain heavily funded, universally accessible public toilets. The UK is the exception, not the rule. So what happened? To answer that, we have to uncover a massive loophole hidden deep within British law. If you look at legislation like the Public Health Act of 1936, local councils are given the power to provide public sanitary conveniences. Notice the wording there. They have the power, but not the duty. Unlike waste collection, road maintenance, or libraries, public toilets in the UK are legally classified as a discretionary service. They are optional. For decades, when times were good, this loophole didn't matter. Councils built them, maintained them, and kept them open because it was the right thing to do. But then came 2010. Following the global financial crash, the UK government introduced a strict era of austerity. Central government funding to local councils was brutally slashed, in many areas by over 40 to 60%. Suddenly, local authorities were forced into a corner. When you're legally forced to fund social care and child protection, but your budget is cut in half, what gets axed first? The optional stuff, the public toilets. Between 2010 and today, thousands of public toilets were abandoned. But they didn't just sit empty. In a bizarre twist of modern British real estate, councils began selling them off to private developers. Today, former Victorian public toilets across London, Manchester and Bristol have been completely converted into trendy underground cocktail bars, quirky cafes, and even tiny residential apartments. While it looks clever on a real estate blog, it masks a dark reality. The high street completely lost its public infrastructure. To fix the mess, the government pushed a new concept, privatization. The idea was simple: let the private sector handle it. Fast food chains, pubs, and coffee shops became the nation's default public restrooms. But this created a silent barrier. It turned a human right into a commercial transaction. If you don't have £3 to buy a latte you don't want, you don't get to use the bathroom. Let's talk about what this actually costs the public. This shift didn't affect everyone equally. It created a profound crisis for senior citizens, families with toddlers, pregnant women, and people living with chronic medical conditions. Studies show that millions of older Britons now participate in what experts call the loo leash, where they literally refuse to leave their houses because they are terrified they won't find a toilet in time. What happens to a society when its public spaces become hostile to its own citizens? And that is what is most fascinating about this whole decline. Britain didn't lose its public toilets because people stopped needing them. They didn't lose them because they don't work. They lost them because of a cultural shift in how we value public spaces. At one specific moment in history, public toilets stopped being viewed as an essential sign of a healthy, civilized civilization and started being viewed on a spreadsheet as a financial liability, a nuisance, or something to be commercialized.
Other countries made different choices based on the values of their time. Japan treats them as a matter of civic hospitality and tech pride. Continental Europe builds automated infrastructure to keep them sustainable. None of this is a simple issue, and context always matters. But it forces us to look at how easily a vital public service can turn into a distant memory, buried under decades of budget cuts, until we stop questioning its absence entirely. Most people walking down a British high street today don't even ask themselves, why are there no toilets here? It just feels normal. And that is exactly what makes it so important to unpack. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you live in the UK, and have you noticed the total disappearance of your local public restrooms? Or are you watching from a country where public toilets are clean, free, and everywhere, and this whole breakdown sounds completely insane to you? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. If you found this deep dive interesting, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We have a whole series exploring the hidden logic, architecture, and bizarre design quirks of the world around us. See you in the next video.